What do we need to know about the energies of the week, October 6th through the 12th? Welcome to Trevor's Tarot Astrology and Spirituality. First off, a huge thank you to everybody who's subscribed to the channel. Thank you for liking, watching, commenting, hyping the videos, sharing the videos, commenting on them, and watching them all the way to the end is really what helps the algorithm. So, for doing that, a huge, huge thank you. Um, if you're not subscribed to the channel, but you like watching the videos, encourage you to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and it just helps the channel grow and get out to more people. The more subscribers, the more YouTube puts out the videos. That's just the way it works. Okay, so the week of October 6th, we are going to do one or two cards for each of the 12 signs because I think this is a big week. But it's a positive week. It's a big and positive week. Maybe not on the global stage, but individually, I feel like this is a big week in a lot of ways. Now, I think it'll affect different people differently, naturally. But, we got the full moon on the 6th, and then the moon will be shrinking, of course, going towards the new moon in a couple weeks. Um, it does feel like there's a big release of tension from our personal lives, not on the world stage. Although I think there is that as well. I think there could be some conflict resolution. In the full moon reading that I did last time, I said that I thought a beloved actor would pass, and Patricia Routledge, who did Hyacinth Bucket or Bouquet, as she would say, in Keeping Up Appearances, passed yesterday on the 3rd. So I think that's was that energy. We'll have to see what the other energy is around the person passing who's maybe not as beloved. Um, but anyhow, there's this release of tension. And with that comes various side effects. So especially if we're older, and even if we're not, we can carry a lot of tension in our shoulders and in our back and in our legs and our calf muscles and on our feet and even in our fingers. Um, so if you're having some aches and pains this week, it's because the tension is leaving. So don't be alarmed, especially if you're having aches and pains and between your shoulder blades in particular, and in your fingers. A lot of us carry a lot of tension in our fingers, and just don't realize it. So now this also could be in your jaw muscles as well. We can carry a lot of tension there. So I would suspect that there's going to be a lot of aches and pains, and they might have already started. I know that we're building I'm recording this on the 4th. We're still, and I'll release it on the 5th. We're still building towards the full moon, but you know, our bodies know what's coming. They just do. They have a way of no. So I expect there'll be a lot of sore muscles, not in a bad way, not like sharp pains or anything, just like achy, like we worked out too much. Um, because our muscles have been clenched really tight and now they're suddenly relaxing. So this would be a great week to spend some time outside and really embracing this relaxation of relaxing atmosphere that's around us this week. It's also a good week to start getting rid of habits that we don't like. We don't need to wait till the new year to make New Year's resolutions, although there's somebody thinking about New Year's resolutions right now, um, which really speaks to how awful this year has been that we're already thinking about New Year's resolutions, wanting the year to be over. But let's not wish away our days either. That's not going to be helpful. Uh, so, you know, I definitely see some people wanting to put down the potato chips and the cheesecakes, and especially somebody's eating some, it looks like chocolate chip cheesecake. Um, and then feeling guilty afterwards. That's not good, right? Eat it and enjoy it. You know, guilt is a guilt around food is a tough one. Um, I also see, you know, people wanting to really concentrate on their finances. Now, my understanding from my astrologer friend, and again, I'm not an astrologer, is there's a possibility to really be prone to excessive spending this month just because of where Jupiter's placed. So, be aware of that. This releasing energy that I'm getting, it feels like we might be releasing some of this overspending habits, even wanting to release some credit card debt and pay it down. So if that's you, that's fantastic. If it's not, then it's just not meant for you. There's also a great wonder and a curiosity to the week as well. Like there's a lot of looking up at the moon, a lot of looking up at the stars around, looking up at the clouds during the day, looking at the way shadows are forming with the trees and the way that the colors are changing on the trees if you're in the northern hemisphere or budding if you're in the southern hemisphere. Um, there's just there's kind of an awe to it. It's like realizing that not everything in the world is bad. It's true. There's a lot of bad things in the world, but not everything is bad. Certainly, watching the squirrels packing away their walnuts for the winter, which is going on in my neighborhood, um, it's entertaining and it's fun and it brings a little bit of a smile and some laughter. So, I think watch for the birds this week. I think they have special messages for us as well, and just kind of really take in this energy because we need it. We need to rest for the next phase, which will happen kind of after the new moon towards the end of the month. So we're going to be in kind of a pretty good energy until then. And it's not going to be bad. It's just we're going to need more energy. So, yeah, there's like a wonder, a curiosity. There's a feeling of needing to get things done too. It's like a nesting habit almost, like when uh, a pregnant cat gets ready to have her kittens, how she will make sure she has a spot figured out, and um, there's kind of that type of energy as well. So let's just take two cards from the Oracle of the Seven Energies here. That's two cards. Let's see. What are we supposed to know? What's the collective supposed to know for this week? What's the collective supposed to know? Uh, in perfect harmony, yeah, it is possible to live in harmony. Here we've got the sousaphone, blowing out the notes. It's not easy to be harmonious when not everything in the world is harmonious. So, finding those places where we can, whether it's with friends, our garden, our plants, the animals that live in our backyard, our pets, all of those things. That's what we're supposed to be looking upon. And wish upon a star. Um, there's a lot of hope. There just is. I've been feeling it for a while, and it's a little bit contradictory because it's kind of like, why are we supposed to be hopeful? Well, I don't know why we're supposed to be hopeful. We just are. And maybe we shouldn't question why we're hopeful. Maybe we should just enjoy it. You know? I mean, you can find a lot of reasons not to be hopeful too. Underneath here, we have the waking the lion. I think this is this inner knowing coming about, this really understanding that we kind of need to be focused more on our personal aspects of life, our families, our friends, our pets, our gardens, or that type of stuff. And, the bigger picture will fall into place. And I think that's what the wishing upon the stars and the hope is about, is that the bigger picture is going to fall into place. I know it doesn't feel like it, but um, I really think that that's going to be the case. Is it going to happen overnight? No. Is it going to happen before next summer? Probably. So, okay. Let's pull a couple oracle cards from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. What are we supposed to know for the collective here? Definitely see the Stargazer card in the water, which is about setting your sights higher, thinking bigger, not being confined to a narrow way of thinking of what's possible. I know there's a lot of people wanting to take trips this winter that are nervous about travel. Um, the Sun card, enjoy success and happiness. I think that's what this week is about. It's about enjoying ourselves. We need a break from the feeling fatigued and feeling um, melancholy and distressed and befuddled and all those other emotions that are just not terribly comfortable. We get the Earth Mother, feel loved and comforted. I think this is why friends and family are so important, and pets. I always include pets in the friends and family category. Um, you know, somebody's sitting watching a movie and there's a cat sleeping on their lap. Perfect. It's exactly the type of energy I'm talking about. Releasing the tension, relaxing, enjoying. It's been so long since we've been able to enjoy a few things. So, um, I think that's good. Um, somebody else too is it looks like baking some homemade. I think it's bread. It could be a cake though. Um, these type of nurturing things, even though maybe that's not the healthiest thing in the world, but it's also not the worst thing in the world either. Let's not blow things out of proportion because there's going to be a tendency to overjudge ourselves as well for things that we're doing in excess. I don't think we should do that, but there's a tendency to do that this week. Um, and then we get Lady, enjoy growth and reap rewards. It is a great month for money manifestation. So, if you're looking for a job, if you're trying to um, save more money, you know, it's a great time to manifest uh, money. My friend Ann and I think, are going to start a channel where we talk about little rituals about manifestations. So I'll let you know about that when that happens. Let me know if you're interested in that, by the way, in the comments. That would be great to as a motivator to get it started if you guys are really interested in that. So we were thinking, just like setting up sacred spaces, making money manifestation type objects. Um, I'm talking a little bit about rituals that we do and that we've learned that I feel like is getting perverted with the internet. Like I think they're getting overly complicated. Things aren't that complicated. Um, like the internet makes it sound. Okay. What do we need to know for the collective here? If we can, living in the now is definitely a very clear present, or very clear message coming through. That's very difficult to do. It's almost kind of mean to even say because it's so hard to live in the now. It just is. But can see somebody sitting in one of the massage chairs at the airport. Think, if you can, getting a massage would be a good thing this week to kind of ease those aches and pains. Uh, yeah, so we get the Five of Cups. This doesn't surprise me at all because we're releasing things, right? So we're releasing things that don't serve us, which you might think of Eight of Cups for that. But the Five of Cups is about loss. And really what we're doing is we're letting go of things that we've been really holding on to quite tightly. Whether it's anger at the political system in the country that we're in, whether it's um, anger towards other people that we work with, um, anger at ourselves, we're starting to release that. And that is a loss. And it's a good loss. But there's also some guilty feelings about it, about putting us first or me first. There's a lot of guilt about that. There always will be, but it's important. If you're not healthy, you can't help anybody else. It's really quite simple. We get the victory card. This is going to be a fantastic week. It really is. It's going to be a week full of individual triumphs. Now, I'm not talking globally, I'm just talking individually. It's going to be a week of a lot of triumphs, a lot of successes. Even if the successes is just throwing out that empty ketchup bottle in the refrigerator, and you know who you are, no judgment. Uh, or there's a bunch of stuff we need to throw out of our fridge, apparently. Uh, Even if it's that, that is a victory. Because up to this point, these things have just not seemed like not worthwhile, but like we're almost not deserving of having a clean refrigerator. Now, some of it's we just don't want to clean our fridge, but you know, definitely people throwing out empty ketchup bottles. There's more than one actually, and salsa jars and jelly jars and stuff like that, and really getting ready for the winter stocking of the fridge. So this is good. These are the victories I'm talking about. I'm not talking about big things. I'm not talking about winning the lottery. I'm not talking about doubling our salaries. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm just talking about little things, getting the oven clean, getting um, some of the winter clothes out and ready to be worn when the weather gets colder, or the summer clothes if you're in the southern hemisphere. The Five of Pentacles, again, this loss representation, but it doesn't scare me. It doesn't concern me because that's kind of exactly what I'm talking about. Like there's just a lessening of the energy. Um, I'm taking this Five of Pentacles as being, yes, there's financial stress. Absolutely, there's financial stress worldwide. There's financial stress, but it's not dominating our lives this week the way that it had been. It's kind of like, okay, we can keep writing down how much all of our bills are and how much money we have over and over again. It's not going to change from week to week. You can do it again next week. So try to let that go. If that's you and you keep writing down a budget and fidgeting with the budget, you kind of know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, but you just keep doing it because it's like an anxiety reaction. So, um, nothing wrong with budgeting. Not saying that. I'm just there there can be an obsessiveness to it, and that's what it feels like. And that's what we're releasing this week, this obsessive thinking. Um, the Knight of Swords, keeping up with things. We're not going to care this week. It's okay if we don't keep up with things. Because you know what? Things change so fast. If we miss something this week, it'll be something different next week, anyhow. So, it's okay. There are other people that are going to keep us informed. So we're going to be just fine. The the Nine of Swords, I really like this because the theme is, loss, and we're losing our anxiety and our sleeplessness. So, you know, that tension, which is going to cause all these aches and pains, and I can already feel it between my shoulder blades just sitting here, um, is good. It's because we're not as anxious. We've been resting better, or we will rest better this week. We have kind of thrown up our hands and said, what will be, but within reason, right? If we need to intervene, we'll intervene. If there's something we can do, we will do it. We're not like accepting the unacceptable. We're not saying that at all. We're just saying that we're giving ourselves a week to take the things out of our lives that aren't really helping us, such as anxiety, such as obsessions over money. It's okay to worry about money. Worrying about money obsessively to where it causes anxiety, that concerns me slightly. Don't get me wrong, I'm guilty of doing it too. So, yeah, if one plan doesn't work, try another, the Eight of Pentacles. Um, yeah, it feels like there's some clever approaches to how to handle people at work that have been irritating us. So I like that too. Um, and just clever approaches even to family members that have just are kind of irritating, for the lack of a better word. It's like we either avoid them this week just because we need the break, or we're able to smile and move on and just handle it. So, the Five of Swords, another five. Um, this is the Wounded in Battle card and the Victor card, depending upon how you look at it. It's a surrender energy, though. For, overall, it's a big surrender. It's a surrendering to the things that we can't really control. And fives are about change. And I said October is going to be a big month. And we've got three of the four fives already. Um, and they're in the corners, which are even more significant. So there's a lot of change. This week is about changing little things, not big things, changing little things to make our lives more enjoyable, to make our lives easier, to somebody's got a bunch of boxes on their carport, and you're just finally going to take them to the recycling, um, empty boxes, that is. Uh, these type of things that just clear out the clutter, right? They just clearing out the clutter, both mentally and physically, cleaning out the junk drawer because we can't even close it at this point, for somebody. Um, and the junk drawer's got, wow. It, it, it's 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 fine. We all do it, right? You end up with the junk drawer that has nails and the charger to the drill, but the drill's nowhere to be found. And you got a cord that goes to something, but you have no idea what it is. It's these type of things, these little things, I think, is what we're supposed to be doing this week. So we'll pull cards for each zodiac sign here in a second. Uh, the Two of Swords, a lot of just kind of feeling like we're going about things not knowing why we're doing them. If we can just accept that we don't need to know why we're doing them. Uh, we're not making huge financial decisions this week, or at least we shouldn't be, and I'm hoping we're not. Or we've thought it really through. If we are, um, but the things that we're going to be doing are little and things. So it's okay if we kind of don't understand why we're being motivated to do them. You know, why we're taking the time to restack the canned goods in our pantry. I don't know, because it makes us feel better, I think is the overall theme. Then we get the King of Wands, really being in control of our environment. I like this spread. So we're losing anxiety and we're getting control of our environment this week. That's what it's all about. Um, We're surrendering to the anxiety and to the economic pressure that we're under. We're just surrendering. Doesn't mean that we're giving up. It just means that we realize that some of these things are beyond our control. And then we have victory in the environment around. We have slowing down, realizing we can't keep up, being clever at work, and then also not really questioning why we're doing what we're doing, not feeling silly for the things that we're doing. Um, don't be embarrassed when you're taking that bag of empty ketchup bottles and jelly jars from your fridge. Don't be embarrassed by it. Just do it. Um, and there's no major arcanas here, and I kind of like that for us this week. There's no real big theme other than change for the better with the fives. That's the big theme. And releasing this anxiety and getting to a place where we're working on improving our lives. So it's going to be a good week. Yeah, some things are going to take us by surprise. We're probably going to be more emotional than normal this week too because of the releasing, so if you're crying at commercials and, you know, good. It's good to cry. It is. It's good. And there's a quiet strength here. There's a hope here. The way the amulet sets, on her abdomen, I think is just really what I'm drawn to about this card today. There's a hope here. It's a quiet hope, though. It's not something we're going to be verbalizing to a lot of people. We're just going to go through it. Okay, so this week feels pretty good. Let's pull some cards for each zodiac sign. I'll just take a sip of my tea there. Um, I really like the white lumen deck, but YouTube flagged one of my videos as over 18. So because there's some nudity, I'm trying to decide what deck to use here. It's the one I want to use, but we don't want an over 18 rating just because some conservatives can't handle the fact that there are implications of breasts in the tarot. Okay, so Aries. What's Aries need to know this week? To know. Definitely cleaning out. This looks like a sewing office or painting studio. Getting ready for bigger things. Yeah, the Page of Wands popping out along with the Page of Swords messages. Um, I think the Page of Wands listening to messages about things that we're passionate about, and then also making sure we're not sabotaging ourselves with the Page of Swords. And I'm going to go one more card here. The Five of Wands, which was the 1 5 that was missing from the previous reading, which is about this internal fighting. So there's going to be a lot of like, why am I doing this? I don't know why I'm doing this. It's a lot of fighting in your head, not with other people, just in your head. Um, you know, this could be, you know, this can be tough energy for sure. Um, I see somebody putting some lavender oil in one of those essential oil diffusers. I think that's good advice. Obviously, if you have skin irritations and breathing problems, perhaps not, but don't do anything that's going to harm you. Okay, Taurus, what does Taurus need to know this week? Embrace your emotions. I think it's going to be an emotional week, Taurus. It's one of those things. I think you're the sign that I was picking up on that's kind of crying at a lot of things, and you're thinking these are just little things. You know, are they? Maybe ask yourself that. Are they really little? And the mob, like I think there's kind of a struggle here in wanting to separate yourself from from a group of people, whether it's family or whether it's your coworkers, and just not see yourself in the same light that they're on, right? It's like they're on this like the world's horrible, 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 and you kind of want to take a break. Take the break. And the Knight of Swords, this week is going to go by fast. So if you don't take the time to embrace that King of Cups energy and really feel your emotions, you're gonna have to wait to do it again. It's like things go very quickly. All right, Gemini. Lots of planning here for Gemini. Um, it's very successful planning too, apparently. The Six of Wands victory. And we get the Magician. Yeah, that's a manifestation. This is good. And the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. So take advantage of this week, Gemini. This is a big week. Whatever it is that you're wanting to have come into your life or leave your life, um, manifest it, see it, act as if it's happened. Um, yeah, that's looks like a fantastic week for Gemini. Okay, Cancer. This is definitely a good money month or more for Cancer. It's because of the Jupiter placement. Cancer need to know. Yeah, the Queen of Wands, following your passion, leading your charge. This is the Unveiled Tarot, by the way. The Chariot card, lots of forward movement here. Uh, it's also the card for Cancer as well. This confirmation. And the Emperor really coming into your own energy. Big, big energies here. Okay, what about Leo? We'll throw some cards for the animal oracles for the collective here at the end. Leo, what does Leo need to know? The Hierophant. If you're trying to embrace a higher spirituality, go with it. Don't question it. Don't feel silly. Um, if you're getting into tarot and manifestation techniques and stuff like that, and you're wondering, do they really work? If you can see somebody, you know, has done the cinnamon ritual and they're wondering whether, that seems kind of silly. Well, what isn't silly in life? Wearing shoes is kind of silly, I mean, you could go along this route forever. So, and we get strength too. There's a quiet resilience about the week for you, Leo, and that's also your card. Um, and the Four of Cups. I think this is the week where we finally feel like we can get our head above water. So let's embrace it. It's been a struggle for sure. Okay, Virgo. Does Virgo need to know? Let me get these a shuffle here. Does Virgo need to know? Virgo. I mean, somebody's trying to find a creative outlet. You can't quite figure out what it is. Yeah, I get the Page of Wands again here. And the Emperor card. You can't quite figure out how to find your inner power. Uh, and the Ten of Pentacles legacy and the end of a cycle. Um, that's going to come to an end. You're going to figure out how to get into your own power. It's just that's what this week is about, is releasing all those things so that you can find your inner power, Virgo. Okay, Libra. Libra. Definitely being intrigued by the moon this week for some reason. Um, what a daydreamy type energy here. Just good. I like that for this week. Look at the Ten of Pentacles again. like cycle's coming to an end. I think you're manifesting the end of some things that you want gone. I think you're really embodying the energy that I'm talking about. And we get the Hierophant. Yeah, turning to more spiritual matters. And the King of Cups, embracing those emotions and feeling them, allowing yourself to go through the storm, right? Of that is emotions, whether we're crying for joy or sadness, whether we're laughing because of fear or things are funny, whether, we feel like crawling up in a ball and just being by ourselves, all of these things, it feels very healthy. So, um, yeah. All right, Scorpio. Scorpio. Scorpio need to know. Getting strength. There's a quietness to accomplishing things. And you have support around finances. So I think this is you is there's a possibility here of manifesting some more money or saving money somewhere along the lines here. And then the Emperor card, which keeps coming up, like really coming into your own power. I think that's a lot of us. We're just letting go of a lot of the nonsense of the world. Okay, what about Sagittarius? We need to know for Sagittarius. We need to know for Sagittarius. The Two of Cups. Um, Possible romantic adventures, but I feel like this is like just getting closer to the people that are in your life. Um, could be though, if you're looking for romance, there's a possibility here because we're releasing some of the baggage from the past. I'm not going to get into what I'm seeing, but a lot of painful stuff. So, um, and the Two of Swords choices. I just feel like there's some big choices this week for Sagittarius. And the Four of Swords, rest while you can. Rest and heal, rest in power. Um, I think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just kind of been exhausting for you. And feeling these emotions that we haven't felt for a while is going to require some rest to heal. But ultimately, on the other side, it's good. Okay, Capricorn. With the pages or the Five of Swords, this, you know, surrendering, and the Two of Cups, the World card. Yes, surrendering. I feel like there's some big grief here. I don't know who this is meant for, but uh, if you worried about losing your significant other, or you have just lost your significant other, um, it's a tough week. It's a tough energy to be in. But you'll be okay. It's tough. All right, Aquarius. Lots of things going on in our head, Aquarius. Trying to figure out everything. We can't solve all the world's problems this week. So I think that's the big message here. And we get the Wheel of Fortune. Really wondering if things are going to go our way this week. I feel like they are, so that's good. And we get the Ten of Pentacles again. So really letting go of a lot of this stuff in your head that's not really helping you. I feel like you were the ones with the over the budgeting obsession, which isn't necessarily bad. It just is. Okay, what about Pisces? Pisces. Get the Two of Cups again. And the Two of Wands this time. So choices, lots of choices this week. And the Two of Swords. Um, I don't know what to say, Pisces. Lots of choices this week. I think that's why we're supposed to rest. I think that's why we're supposed to release a lot of things so that we can clearly make these choices and not end up making them blindly like the Two of Swords, but rather more of the Two of Wands, where it's like a crossroads and we know what this way goes and we know which way this goes. So it actually doesn't, it feels pretty good. It might sound scary, but it feels good. Okay, that's some animal oracles. Track this up for the question. What do we need to know? I have some ending messages for the week of October 6th through the 12th. Some ending messages. The spider spirit, make your dreams real. That's fantastic energy. The fox spirit, think on your feet. And also, if you feel like acting slyly, like you're applying for a job and you're not telling anybody at your current job about it, or you've got some sort of side hustle and you're not telling your current job about it, be okay with it. It is okay. You don't need to tell them. They don't need to know. The turtle spirit, slow and steady wins the race. I think this is exactly what the whole week is about. It's just taking some time for ourselves. And the antelope. Life is speeding up. Let's take time for ourselves this week because it's not going to last. Not that this week feels slow, because it doesn't feel slow. It just feels like there's a release of tension, not necessarily that it feels slow. And then the wolf spirit turning knowledge into wisdom. All of us are recovering from a lot of pain in our lives, and we can use that to turn it into wisdom. There's three or four of you in particular that'll know what I'm talking about. So that's not easy. So, all right. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with another video soon.